You're in Tel Aviv. What's the latest where you are?
Good evening, Francois. Well, the IDF, the Israeli military, has been briefing journalists about the strike on Jabalia yesterday, and they said that they had managed to take out a senior Hamas commander, Ibrahim Biari, who they said was one of those responsible for leading the October the 7th attacks, which killed 1,400 people here in Israel. They said they hit a number of Hamas installations as well, including some of the tunnel network from which Hamas operates. Hamas has denied this, by the way, these Israeli army claims. But in terms of the civilian casualties, and we've seen these pictures of people desperately digging through the rubble to look for loved ones, of bodies shrouded, lying near a hospital. Well, when asked about that, the Israeli military said that they had warned civilians to get out of northern Gaza, which they had declared a war zone, and it has been calling on them for quite some time now to head to the south of Gaza, despite the fact that in Khan Yunis, in the south of the Gaza Strip, those bombings continue. And you've had aid organisations, including the UN, saying there is no safe place within Gaza. And despite the fact that the roads are very difficult, you know, there's been armoured vehicles spotted on the roads leading from the north to the south there. But they are once again calling on people to get out of the north of the Gaza Strip.
Calling for people to get out of the north of the Gaza Strip. And the focus where you are is not just on Gaza, it's also on the West Bank.
That's right. We've reported a few times in recent days in the West Bank, along with my France 24 colleagues. We've just seen really rising tensions there, hardened attitudes, reporting from the north of the occupied West Bank, in Nablus and in Jenin. Jenin, where there were Israeli army air and drone strikes on the Jenin refugee camp, which is home to an armed Palestinian resistance group, the Jenin Brigades. Well, people there are saying they really can see no path forwards to peace, telling us that they, especially the young people, don't believe in any kind of peace process anymore, and that they don't even think that, you know, the young people will get, you know, be satisfied with throwing stones at the Israeli army when they're faced with the military incursions and raids that we've been seeing over the past few days. There's also been an uptick in violence from Israeli settlers in the West Bank on Palestinians. The Palestinian Health Authority says that around 130 Palestinians have been killed, either in raids or in settler attacks, since the 7th of October. And we saw for ourselves, just heading back actually into Israel from the occupied West Bank, just how disruptive some of the settler activity can be. We got to one road and Israeli settlers decided to come down there with mattresses and occupy the road and block it, basically. The Israeli army was there too. Long lines of Palestinians waiting, not being able to get through until those settlers were eventually moved on. That situation there in the West Bank getting increasingly tense. There have been lots of demonstrations in towns in the West Bank by Palestinians in recent days, and there are calls as well for them to stage a general strike.